Have you struggled to get traction with your stock trading and make the sort of progress that you actually want to make? Or maybe you're stuck in one of these learning loops where you'd spend a lot of time studying and looking at charts and all of that, but don't actually get to the point of investing and placing trades and having a set of rules that you're comfortable to follow. If that sounds like you, then chances are it's one of two problems. The first problem could be a lack of inspiration, a reason big enough to actually go and do the work that needs to be done. Now I'm sitting here on the shores of Lake Tahoe, and let me tell you, spending time in places like this is a pretty good reason to learn how to trade and to get financially free. So if that's the problem for you, great. Think about the reason that would drive you to do the work to do what needs to be done and actually implement your first trading system. But chances are it's not that. Chances are it's something else. Chances are if you've been looking at the markets for a while and you haven't yet taken the leap, you haven't started trading consistently or chosen an approach which is right for you, chances are the reason is that you're stuck in a learning loop, in this iterative cycle of learning something, going and looking at it, then learning something else, going and looking at it, learning something else, going and looking at it, but never actually taking the leap or taking one of those concepts all the way through to completion so that you can implement and start actually making money with your trading. Now, I've had a couple of conversations with students in my mentoring program in the last week about this exact issue. And one of the big problems or challenges that traders face is there's a lot to learn. And look, I'm the first to admit it's a journey, right? And if you have a guide to guide you through that journey, it makes it dramatically quicker. Now, when I learned, I taught myself basically by reading books and trial and error and studying the markets. And it took me 3 full years of consistent work and effort to learn. But with a mentoring student, I can now take someone from zero knowledge to active and profitable in the markets in 2 to 3 months with that knowledge of exactly the right steps. Now, what is it that keeps people, you traders, in a learning loop rather than going all the way through to completion? Well, one of the big challenges is asking questions in the wrong order. Now, it's not your fault because as a new trader or someone who's just trying to figure out the markets, you don't actually know what the right order to ask the questions is. But when someone starts looking at the markets and a first question that comes to them is, what broker should I use? It's a logical question to ask, but it's actually not in the right sequence of things. The first question to ask is more along the lines of, what sort of trader am I going to be? What strategy should I use that fits my personality, my objectives, and the lifestyle that I live now and that I want to live? Because when you ask a question like that first, it eliminates a whole bunch of areas of investigation that you no longer need to do, because all you have to do is investigate the things that are within the strategy, within the bounds of your criteria for what type of trader you want to be. And when I did this, when I discovered or realized that what was holding me back was that I was learning too much. I was learning about fundamental analysis and technical analysis and chart patterns and candlesticks and indicators and price action. And I was learning about Forex and futures and stock trading and all of these things. I was learning about all of these at the very beginning. But there was a very substantial shift that I made when I got focused. I got focused on the sort of trader I want to be. And you need to get focused on the sort of trader you want to be. Because if you don't, you'll continue this learn and and tinkering sort of mentality, because there's always so many things you can learn. And I got to be honest with you, it's really easy to learn, and you get rewards because oh cool, I learned something new. It's like a little boost of endorphin boost that you get. But when you do that, and when you focus on all of these different things and you don't get specific and targeted in your learning, you end up asking all of these broad range of questions, and you ask the wrong questions in the wrong sequence. But if you decide that I'm going to be a stock trader and I'm going to trade long-term trends on the American market or on the Australian market or whatever it is, that then eliminates 90% of the noise at least. So you can focus on learning exactly that. And the path becomes much more clear. So if you're stuck in a learning loop, or in one of those situations where you know a little bit about a lot of different topics in trading, but you haven't been able to push it through to completion. What you need is a guide to step you through the process of choosing the right method for you. And then through the process of learning that method and pushing it through to completion and launching a trading system so that you can actually start making money in the markets. Because you can easily get stuck learning and trying and tinkering with lots of different strategies for the rest of your life in the markets. But there's a huge opportunity cost in that. I know, because it took me 3 years to figure out how to make money, how for me to make money trading. But if I'd have taken just 2 or 3 months by having a guide and taking the right steps and getting focused early, I would have had 3 more years of compounding. And today, the value, the lost value because I took 3 years to learn is millions of dollars, because the compounding impact of the delay is very substantial. I mean, Einstein said compounding is like the 8th wonder of the world or something, whatever the quote is, you've heard it. And it's absolutely true. And so if you're one of those people who have been tinkering with the markets for years, it's time to stop all of that. Just stop it and get focused. And if you need help to get focused, then comment below and let me know, or reach out, private message me, because I can, in a very short session, I can help you zero in on exactly the right method of trading for you, so you can finally make the progress that you've wanted to make. And get focused on your learning so that you learn only the things you need to learn, not all of that extraneous stuff that is keeping you learning and keeping you away from actually trading and making money. Because pushing one method, one system through to completion and actually putting money into the market and following that system, following that method, that's what will break it. That's what will get you the progress and start moving you towards your goals. So if that sounds like you, if you're trying to make progress in the market and you just haven't managed to because you haven't figured out your way yet, reach out to me, send me a private message or comment below, because what you need is a guide to step you through those first stages of selecting a method, choosing a trading system, a trading strategy, testing it so that you've got confidence, and implementing it into the market. And once you do that, all of a sudden you've got momentum. You've got momentum in your investing, and that will make all of the difference. You break that loop, you break that endless cycle of analysis. You start actually trading with confidence. And then all of a sudden a whole new world opens up to you, because once you're at that point, you're on the edge of becoming a professional private trader. And a professional private trader has a life which is totally different to being stuck in an office. I mean, I've already done my trading for today. I trade 3 different markets around the world, and now I'm just sitting on the edge of a lake. We just came back from an hour and a half cruise around the lake in Lake Tahoe, and it was amazing, right? And it's possible because I've designed strategies that give the life that I want. And my trading strategies take, at the moment, between about 5 and 20 minutes per day to execute, because that's what I designed. And I can help you design the same thing. So if that sounds like something you want, send me a private message and I'll have a free call with you. We'll talk for half an hour or so, and I'll set you on the right path towards your trading success, whatever that looks like for you. So I hope that helps you. I want nothing more than to break your cycle of analysis and to give you momentum in the markets. My name's Adrian Reed. This is Enlightened Stock Trading.